Well, good morning and welcome. There you are. I got two ladies behind the poles over here. I can still see you. Don't try to hide. Well, we are going to, in our, I guess, next couple months, every day is a day closer to summer. That's the way that I look at life here in the Tetons. When it's snow, sun, cold spring, and every day is a day closer. But while we're in this springtime, our practices are going to be a lot around in the standing poses, balance poses arena of yoga. And we're also going to be really looking at, good morning, Lee.
Good morning.
We're also going to be looking at supporting our liver and gallbladder. So the two organs that are associated with the spring season from the Chinese medicine perspective. And so I'm just going to read just a little bit about these organs. And the element that spring is represented by is the element of wood. So wood, spring, liver, gallbladder. And really the theme around it is renewal, right? So spring is the season of rebirth. The buds start to appear on the trees, flowers push up from the earth, and sometimes when it's still covered in snow. We all know about that, don't we? And just gonna get that situated. So we have this time of new beginnings, warmth, there's more light, and it reminds us of our resilience, of the constant cycles that the dawn always comes after the dark. And some of us have had a tough winter in different ways. And so there's this energy of renewal, of hope that spring brings. The element of spring is wood. Life returns, and in a seeming instant, the gray and brown world is lit with a million colorful buds. It will come here in the Tetons as well. Eventually, we'll see these colorful buds, right? But spring holds much within its season. The two meridians in wood are our liver, right under the right ribs. We have our large liver organ, and the gallbladder is right next door to the left of the liver. And it's fitting in that the liver is the only organ in the body that can rebuild itself, even if 80% of the tissue is destroyed. Amazing. It is the very definition of renewal. It has over 200 functions that it's in control of, and it's responsible for removing toxins, creating hormones, cleaning the blood, and it is energetically responsible for the smooth flow of chi or prana we talk about in yoga. It's the life force energy in the body. The gallbladder is responsible for helping us to digest fats, which are the most important nutrient in the body, because every single cell is encased in fat. Our brain is more than 60% fat, and so it helps to create healthy hormones. So we want these two organs to feel clear, strong, energy moving through them to do what they're naturally designed to do. So that's what we're going to help our bodies to do this morning. So we're actually going to come up off of our seat. I know you all got cozy on your bolsters, but we're actually going to start standing and begin to move our energy this morning while feeling grounded in our feet. So just taking a look at your feet, let's pick up all 10 toes, spread each toe individually as best as we can, and then relax the toes on the earth and just feel our feet sink down into the ground. Just close your eyes and just feel into a sense of connectiveness between your feet and the ground underneath you. And let's place one hand on our forehead, and we're going to place our other hand right over our solar plexus, where our liver and gallbladder reside. And we're going to take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just settling our nervous systems this morning, sending some just balance into the nervous system. Feeling present again within ourselves, in our bodies, and in the space where we are this morning. Whether you're here in the greenhouse or at home in your living room, feel a sense of connectiveness to your body, within your surroundings. One more breath here. Good, then let's release the hands and find the fingers up on the collarbones, dropping down an inch below into the hollows. Begin to thump here on your K27 points, or you can massage, or you can always tap out in your energy field a couple inches off of the body. If any of these points are just too uncomfortable to tap physically on the body. And now we move the breath again. Inhale through the nose, out through the mouth, getting energy moving forward through all of the meridians and systems of our body this morning. One more breath. Good, coming now to the center of the sternum bone, giving a boost to our immune system as we tap on our thymus gland. One more breath here. Good, let's come down to the side seams of the low ribs, massage or thump here on your spleen meridian. Another governor of our immune system. And consider the mother nourishing energy of our body, the way that we care for ourselves. One more breath here. Good. Let's come up to the cheekbones right now, right under the pupils, and we'll lightly tap here on our stomach points. Supporting us in the downward flow of energy in the body so that we feel grounded. One more breath. Good. Shake off the hands toward the ground. Pause here in mountain pose in stillness for a few breaths. Eyes closed, or maybe a soft gaze staring out the tip of your nose. Now we'll continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. As we march in place, tapping our hand to our thigh on the same side. Now you could do this without the feet even touching, coming off the floor, or you can do it very slowly, and this works the balance. And now we're going to pause, shake off the hands, and now take opposite hand over to the opposite thigh. Try to keep your gaze up and forward, just like you're walking in the grocery store. I dare you to do this in Brolam's or your grocery store. You'll feel good, and it might help someone else feel good because their energies might be in a pattern that's stressful, and yours will be nice and flowing, crossing over. Yeah, again, you could just do here, just do arms. You don't even have to do legs. But let's take one more breath. Good. And now come to a pause. That action helps our body to come back to 100% capacity to heal, whatever we're working with. So that crossover pattern is important. If you can't do the legs, just do this. It will help, okay? All right, we're gonna do it again. So first we're going to, again, just start like we're walking. Same hand, you can do this. You can take hand to thigh, kind of giving that little tap. Or you could just be doing arms. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now pause. Shake off the hands. Opposite hand to opposite thigh. Notice if it takes you a moment to have to think about that. Or does it just come automatically? Just notice. One more breath. All right, and let's come to a pause. Good work. Let's take our hands in front of our hips, just a couple inches off of the skin. And I'd like you to set your intention for your practice this morning. It's what you would like to focus on, or maybe it's an intention for your day. What do you want to resonate with today? And then take your intention, and as you inhale, you're going to sweep your hands up the midline of the body. Exhale the arms up overhead, sweeping them down to your sides. 3 more times with your breath, sending your intention into your life, into your energy field that fills the space around you. One more time. Good. Let's do the hookup now. Placing our middle fingers, one in the navel, one at the third eye. Press in, pull up on these 2 points, and take 3 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Aligning you to your center. Good. Release the hands. Let's rub the palms together. Shake off the hands. If you need to shake out the legs a little bit, feel free to. And now we're going to come up onto our scalp, and we're going to massage all over our scalp like we're in the shower with our favorite shampoo. And we're going to massage and breathe. And if we find a sore spot, we're going to press in with our fingers, breathe deeper. We have a lot of meridian points on our head, and we have a lot of gallbladder points up here as well. So we're just going to activate, release the noise of the mind. And then just shake off the hands and brush through your head 3 times, flicking off that energy in between each time towards the ground. That kind of feels good. Okay, let's bring our fingers now to the center of the forehead. We'll press in and pull the fingers apart to the temples. Let's do it again. Make sure your pinkies are going over your eyebrows. We hold toxins in our eyebrows. They might even feel sore. Let's do it one more time. Good, and now we'll go up to the next section of our skull, and we'll come from the center and we'll press in and pull the fingers apart down the sides of the head. And going up to each section, pressing in, pulling apart. This doesn't mess up your hair, it only adds volume. So those of you who are like, I already did my hair for today. Well, this will only enhance it. Okay, when you come down to your neck eventually, you'll press into the center of the neck, pull the fingers apart to the sides of the neck. Breathe. Clearing tension in the head and neck. And then when you can reach down to your upper back as far as is comfortable for you, take a couple breaths here and massage, stimulating the gallbladder points here. And now take a hold of the shoulders, press in and pull your hands forward so the skin kind of comes with you to now your upper chest. And we'll press in and we'll pull our fingers apart in between each of the ribs. And we'll come all the way down inside of the breast tissue on either side of the sternum. Good. And then when you come to the bottom of your ribs, just shake off the hands. Come underneath the right breast tissue, and you're just going to massage back and forth in this arc pattern. This is a neurolymphatic reflex point for the liver. So we're helping to cleanse the liver of toxins. Breathe. One more breath. Good. Let's shake off the hands. Bring our fingers or the thumbs now up the back of your spine, and you're going to come a ½ inch out on either side of the spine. So you're not right on it, you're on either side. And now you'll begin to massage in circles down these muscles around your spine, surpassing over the bladder meridian. Just releasing tension you might be holding here from your week or longer. And when you get down to inside of your sacrum, on either side of the tailbone, give a little massage here. And now we're going to brush off our backs 3 times. Shake off the hand, shake out the body. That's a very clearing practice. Sometimes you might feel like, whoa, that's awesome, or whoa, maybe I have a little bit of nausea, or, it's just moving things around. It's really good stuff. All right, let's bring our hands now onto our shoulders. And we'll just do some nice gentle shoulder circles. So as we inhale, we'll lift the elbows up toward the sky, and on the exhale, we'll take our elbows back and around. You're going gently toward your edge, but not beyond. And let's come back into yogic breathing in and out through the nose, knowing that anytime the body starts to feel like it's filling up with stuck energy or stress that we need to move out, that we can exhale through the mouth. All right, let's take the elbows back now, up and around.
Hello, this is Lee.
Good. Okay, and then let's just release the arms down. And now we're going to take our right arm up and back. Bend the elbow. Take a hold of our right elbow with the left hand. Reach our elbow up toward the sky as we root our feet. And now we'll take gentle shoulder circles in one direction.
What springs up in you?
And then the other direction. And then we'll lift the elbow up toward the sky, gently guide it back as we stretch deeper into the tricep. 2 deep breaths here, opening the flexibility of our shoulders. Just so we can keep reaching those items on the top shelf, right? All right, let's stretch the arms up toward the sky. Inhale deeply, upward hands. Exhale, let your arms float down. Over to the other side, left arm reaches up and back. Bend your elbow. Take a hold of the elbow with the other hand. Inhale the elbow up and then exhale, gently guide it back. And then take these shoulder circles around in one direction.
Okay, so just let me know. All right.
And the other direction.
Oh,
And then reaching the elbow up toward the sky. Inhale, exhale, gently guide the elbow back. 2 breaths here.
let me know. All right. Please stand it. Uh-huh.
Good. Then let the arms stretch up toward the sky. Inhale, reach up through your heart and spine. Exhale, let your arms float down. Good. Give your whole body a little bit of a shake out. Okay, we're going to clear the gates of our hands, which is a great way to clear the lymph system, including the liver. So we're going to look at our left hand, palm side up, and we're going to come right in between the long bones of the pinky and 4th finger, and we're going to press in with our right thumb and push any fluids, stuck energy into the gully that's in between each finger, and then we're going to pinch off. And that might be sore. Breathe. This is such a great way to clear tension in your hands if you work with your hands a lot. If you deal with any kind of arthritis. And then once you've done those passes through the gullies, come down the pinky finger and massage and pinch off the top now of each finger, activating your meridians. And then just give your hand a shake off and notice how your left hand feels in relationship to your right hand now. Is it a little bit more spacious? It feels sore? My hand feels big. I always just feel like I have this huge, like blow up hand that's just emerged. Okay, well, let's try the other side now. And your hand probably will feel sore because you've now just moved a lot. It should dissipate eventually, though. Let's go down the other hand. Now, from an energy medicine perspective, all pain is stuck energy. So we're helping to move that stuck energy out through the gullies and into the system of the body to release toxins out and energetically to move it out of the body. And then you can go down each finger, pinching off the top. And then just shake out your hand, see how that hand feels. And just give them a little shake out. All right. Let's take our hands now. We're going to take our arms out in front. We're going to turn our palms out and take our right arm over our left arm and clasp our hands. Okay? Now bend the elbows and bring your hands and let them rest at your heart or toward the heart as best as you can. And if that's not working for you, stay out here. If you can't, go to that next part. Now we're going to bring in the legs and we're going to cross our right leg over our left leg. Or if that's not possible, just come bring feet together. Okay, take a couple deep breaths here. A way to settle our nervous system when we're feeling a lot of emotions that we need to just settle ourselves, settle the mind. This is a practice you can do. Now we're just going to explore a little bit deeper with this arm opening. So we're going to let the arms, I'll turn this way so you can see. We're going to let the arms slowly stretch out as much as available to our arms without locking the elbows. So keep a little micro bend. Yeah, yep. Just kind of unfolding to the level that works for you. Breathe. And then now we'll bring the arms back in. We'll bring them back out and we'll uncross the arms. And we'll do the same thing on the other side now. Left arm over right. You can bring your feet back to center. There we go. And now scoop the hands in and let them rest on or near your heart. Good. If you're coming into the crossover, it's left leg over right. Take 3 deep breaths here. And then perhaps your arms can unfold a little bit more out away from your chest, letting them straighten without locking your elbows. Nice. Stretching the tendons in the arms, the tendons, the ligaments, all governed by the wood element of the spring season. Okay, let's bring the arms back in toward the chest, unfold them back out. You can uncross the legs, uncross the arms, and release. And then let's just give every arm a little bit of its own shake out. Releasing tension in the wrists and arms. All right. Okay, good work. Let's come down now to our hands and knees onto all fours. So if you'd like to use a knee pad, you can get that in the center of your mat. And Crystal, do you want to crack that window if that works okay for you? All right, let's come to all fours. We opened our hands so nicely with that clear the gates action. Hopefully they feel more spacious. Let's put our wide spread hands onto the earth. That creates such a firm foundation for the shoulders, the spine, the flowing energy of the meridians. And then let the knees come under the hips. And if available, toes tuck under. If not, toenails can press into the earth, but make sure they are pressing in firmly because the feet are also another foundation. Okay, let's inhale, press the mat away, tuck the tailbone under, and flex our spine into cat pose. On our exhale, let's yield the spine and let it lengthen in cow pose, opening the chest, lifting the tailbone. Move with your breath through these 2 poses with core stability. Simply tone your low belly so there's support for your low back. Not so much that you can't breathe. It's not the workout of the 80s where it was like suck your belly in and hold on for dear life. But we got to be able to breathe, and our organs need space. So it's not such a hard clench of our core. It's just a nice middle way tone. One more time through each of these movements, feeling your pelvis as it moves forward and back. and then come into a neutral spine. Separate your knees apart. Come onto the tops of your toes. Bring your big toes toward each other. We're going into child's pose. So your hips will reach back toward your heels any amount. Your arms are going to stretch out onto the earth and your head will rest on your block or it can rest on the mat. Breathing into your back, into your hips. Sherry, see what it's like to rest your head on a block and you bet. That feel better?
Yes.
Marilyn? Just see what it's like to have a block under your head. What's that?
I say I do.
Yeah, just see what it's like. How's that feel? A little better? Let's take one more deep breath into our hips and back. Exhaling, softening the body toward the ground. Inhale, slowly rise back up to all fours. Aligning your knees again directly under your hips. Set up your foundation in your feet. And we're going to stretch our right leg back with our toes on the earth, pressing into the backs of the toes, reaching the heel back and lifting the right thigh bone up toward the sky. So the leg is straight, the spine is straight, and our calves are receiving this flush. Now with the tone in your low belly, you have the option to lift your right leg now off of the mat, parallel to the floor, and straight back from your hip. Hug your inner thigh in toward the midline of your body and breathe. Maybe your left arm would like to also reach forward and hug in toward the left side of your head. Spinal balance pose. Breathing as you strengthen your core, lengthen your muscles, and then relax a little bit in the form. One more breath here. Lower down. You can always come out sooner than I'm guiding you. Second side. Left leg extends back, toes on the earth. Reach through your heel, stretch into your calves. Thigh bone lifting toward the sky. Option to lift your left leg now with your core, not just your buttocks. Option to add the right arm, hugging in toward the right side of your head. Reach the crown of your head towards the top of your mat and press your back foot into an imaginary wall. Breathe. One more breath here. Exhale, lower down. Let's send our hips back into child's pose, resting our head on a block or maybe even our stacked hands. Just really letting your arms rest and your head rest. Good. One more deep, full breath in. Exhale, releasing the hips toward the heels, any amount more. Good. Then inhale, slowly rise up, stretching your arms onto the mat, and then bring yourself back up. Walk your knees behind you. We're making a transition to stepping our right foot forward. You can always take a hold of the back of your calf to help your foot forward. And now we're stepping our left foot forward. So we've now come onto our feet, right under our bent knees and hips. And let's let our spine hang toward the ground. Knees are bent a lot because this really isn't about our hamstrings right now. It's about our hips, our spine, and our head unfurling tension. Maybe the hands make it to the earth or blocks. Maybe the hands come to the elbows, tips. Now let's bring our hands to our shins and we'll rise up halfway, straightening our legs, straightening our spine, drawing our navel in and up toward the spine and reaching our heart forward. On your exhale, let the knees bend and the spine and arms release back toward the ground. We'll do this 2 more times. You'll go with your breath. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, bend the knees, release the spine. And the head. 1 more time. Inhale, lift, lengthen your heart. Exhale, release. Hands cover your big toes. We'll slowly trace up our spleen meridian. So we're going to inhale and sweep our hands to our inner ankles, up our inner shins, inner knees, inner thighs, over the front of the hips, up the sides of the torso, past the armpits, and we'll circle back down to the low side ribs and we'll massage vigorously our spleen meridian. Go a little higher, Joanne. A little bit right up. Yeah, go right up in there. See that divot right here? It's sore maybe even. Yeah, that's it. That's spleen. Yeah. She's like, oh, now I have it. Good work. Shake off the hands. The meridians are so small. If we cover a big area, we're going to get it. But I wanted to make sure you really got it. And you're like, I've gotten it. All right, great. Let's clear our mat and find our blocks now and set them up at the top of our mat. Bless you. Bless you. I have some tissues right here if you need them, Marilyn. Okay. We are going to do a little bit in the lunging category, just to open our hips and our legs. Really helps to work the balance. And so we'll start in front of our blocks. We have our blocks at the highest height. And Sherry, you can actually bring your blocks all the way toward my direction. Yeah, because then we're going to be stepping back onto the mat. Okay, so let's just bend the knees, find our hands on our blocks. Our blocks are extensions of our arms. They go wherever our arms are going, okay? We're going to step our right foot back into its own train track. Far enough back that our front knee is okay to bend above our ankle, and we're on the ball of our back foot. So make sure your knee is not going beyond your ankle right now. So slide your right foot back a little bit more, Sherry. Yeah, really stabilize down into your feet, especially if you have a slippier, what am I trying to say? A more slippy mat. There we go. Okay, here we are, straight leg lunge. We're extending through the back heel. We're firmly pressing weight into our front heel. And now our spine wants to be seen. Our hearts want to be seen. So lift the chest, shoulders draw back. Breathe. Okay, let's step forward using our core muscles to make these transitions. Second side, left foot steps back. Bend the front knee just above the ankle, but not beyond it for right now. Good. Let the spine draw up. Now, hug your inner thighs isometrically toward your midline. Feel the inner thighs tone. Breathe. Okay, good. Let's step forward. Using the core, we're going back to the first side. Right foot steps back into its own lane. We're firmly planted in our front heel. Our spine is lifting. We're hugging our inner thighs in toward the midline of the body. Can you feel that tone and that strength? Draws power up to your pelvic floor. Some of you might be able to bring hands to hips. Some of you will keep hands on blocks. Keeping the inner thighs hugging together, shoulders drawing back. Beautiful. Breathe. Wherever you are, breathe. One more breath. Good. Reach the heart forward. Hands come back to blocks if they were off. And now step forward. We have one more side to go. Left foot takes a big step back into its own lane. Front knee bends over your ankle. Hug your inner thighs toward each other strongly. This will help with stability. Maybe the hands come up to hips. Chest is rising. Yep, that's fine. Yep. I'd rather have your chest open and gaze out like it is right now with the blocks instead of not, because it'll help with your breathing. Okay. Tack your right hip straight back. Good. Nice. One more breath here. All right, let's bring our hands back to the blocks if they left. Let's step forward. And now bend the knees and bring your hands to your hips. Hug your elbows toward each other and slowly rise up with an open heart, bent knees to keep circulation going as you rise up to standing in mountain pose. Shake out the legs. All right. When we talk about inner thighs hugging isometrically toward the midline, this is the midline of the body. Think about you've got this whole pillar of light that goes from the crown of your head to the heavens. It goes through your body and into the earth. Midline, center of your body. When we hug the inner thighs together, they're toning toward each other. They're not physically moving right together. They're just toning toward this midline. Those of you who have knee things you work with, the inner thighs have to be strengthened. That tends to mean that they're weak. So that's going to help with that alignment in the knee and strengthening. All right, so you're all having so much fun with those. Let's now work in Warrior One pose, okay? And let's not use the blocks. Actually, for this, let's just set them off the mat. And we'll work with Warrior One with our legs. And Marilyn, this is just if you need it, and you might not, but I'm going to offer it to you, is if you still want to have the chair for support with your hands, okay? Props are not crutches. They are supports, okay? I just want you to know that. Just because if you have to use a prop, it's not like, oh, I'm too weak, I can't do it. It's no, your body just needs a little support, and that's okay. Okay, so right foot is going to take a step back into its own lane. And the foot, let's take our foot out just a slight wider. The foot, this time of the back foot, is going to be on the mat. So your toes are turned out. I'm not good at geometry, but I think this is probably 30 degrees. Okay. That was not my high point of school. Okay, so the front knee is going to be, I do know angles. I do know angles of 90 degrees though. Okay, front ankle under the front knee. So for a warrior one pose, we want our hip bones and the actual sacrum and pelvis to turn toward the top of the mat. And so a nice way to help that, I feel, is with this wider stance and taking our left hand onto our right rib cage. I'm going to show you this way. Left hand on the right rib cage, right hand over the left elbow just above it. So the elbow is still showing. And now use your left hand to draw your right ribs around and forward, and notice how your right hip bone wants to go with, yeah? Okay. Is everybody with me? Can you feel that? Bring your chest toward me a little bit, Sherry. This way. Yeah, just come toward, yeah. Yeah, good, nice. Ground through your feet. Whew, just settle into this pose. Warrior one, think about the word warrior. We want to be steady, strong, grounded warriors if we're going to make it through this time, okay? And you all have and are, and this helps to continue to build resiliency. So we're breathing, and now we're going to hug our inner thighs toward the midline of our body. Feel a little bit of that muscle energy. Okay, let's step forward and come back into mountain pose. And then let's just shake it out. All right, we're in peaceful warrior training here. Okay, so we're gonna go to the second side. The left foot takes its step back. Take a little wider. Think about your train tracks being wider. Back foot is on the earth. We think 30 degrees. The toes are not gonna come all the way forward. They're also not gonna be at 90 degrees. You're gonna help your hip rotate toward the top of your mat by placing your right hand over your left ribs, over that spleen point. Left hand comes above the right elbow. Ground through your feet. Hug your inner thighs toward each other. Feel that muscle tone into your pelvis. And now guide your left ribs around to your right. Gaze out in front of you. Yeah. Breathe. You're doing great. Just relax a little bit in this form. We can be relaxed warriors. We don't have to be crazy warriors, right? We're balanced warriors. We're strong and powerful. We're assertive. And we're also humble and soft. One more breath here. All right, let's step forward. Come into mountain pose. Okay, tree pose is up next. If you like to use a chair or a wall, feel free to put yourself by that prop. Put it on your right side to begin. So you're using a chair. Have the rung next to you on the right side. Good. And then take a look at your feet again. And Donna's got a good idea. It's much easier to balance on the concrete or on a wood floor. But if you're on a mat, it also challenges you a little bit more. So you decide. But look at your feet. Pick up all 10 toes. Spread the toes again. And then just relax the feet down. The center of your feet draws tone through the arches. You're drawing tone up the legs to your low belly. So we're both grounded, but we've also got this lift going toward the sky. If you're using the prop, right hand will be on the chair. If you're not, we're going to come back into this triple warmer spleen hug. Right hand on the left ribs, left hand above the right elbow. Balancing into the right leg, open up your left hip. Kickstand your foot. Option 1, slide your foot to your inner ankle. Your left toes have not left the earth. Focus out in front of you and breathe. Hug to your midline. Some of you might be able to slide the foot to the inner shin. You're not on your knee joint. If you're using a support, make sure you're not leaning too much into it, but your hip is right above your ankle, solid as the tree trunk. Let a little smile light up your lips. Are we having fun yet? Let's not be so serious. I can get way too serious. So just soften, lighten up, have some fun. You got some wind in your tree today. It's not very stable. It's okay. Let's step out. Let's shake it out. We got a second side that might have some other information for us. So left leg, stable foot, stable leg. Draw the tone up the left leg. Put your prop on the other side if you're using it, or turn around. And then you can open up your right hip and kickstand your foot. And just steady right here. If you want to add the triple warmer spleen hug, left hand to the right side of the ribs, right hand above the left elbow, gaze out in front of you on a fixed point. Smile. Slide your foot to your inner ankle. Here's that hugging into the midline action. Maybe this is where you're working today. Maybe your foot slides to your inner shin above the knee, below the knee. Feel the tone, feel the length, and then relax. Turn the corners of your mouth up toward the sky. One more breath. And let's shake it out. Back to the first side. When you're walking with your shoes on outside, bring awareness to your feet when you're walking. Are your toes spread? Do you imagine roots growing out of your feet? Try it on. Really bring that awareness of groundedness into your feet, into your daily life, and we'll practice here. That's what our yoga does. It helps us to take it into our life off the mat. So we'll come back to the right leg. We'll open the left hip. So we get second chances. Here's our second chance on the right side, right? Come back. You can do the triple warmer spleen hug again. Doesn't matter which side you do. One hand to the other rib, one hand above the opposite elbow. Foot slides to the inner shin. Ground your roots through the right foot. Tone to the midline. Breathe. Maybe the foot travels up to the inner shin. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you want to smile while you do this. Maybe you don't. One more breath. Steady eddies. All right, good job. Shake it out. Last time, best side. Here we go. Open the left foot, ground the left leg. Open the, thank you. Open the right hip. That was my speaker telling me that there's a low battery. Okay. Take the opposite arm with the spleen, triple warmer spleen hug. Gaze out. Find where your foot's going to be, where you feel most stable and strong. Steady and solid. That is the energy of a warrior. One more breath here. Doing so well. Nice job. Let's come out. Just shake out the whole body. Good. All right. Nice work. Balance. Okay. For our one more practice before we make our way back to the mat, we are going to do a practice called Expelling the Venom. Okay, so part of this wood element is the emotion of anger. And anger is a healthy emotion. It's healthy to move the emotion and the energy of anger, but we don't want to do it in a way that hurts ourselves or hurts other people. So instead, we want to channel our energy of anger into assertive action and setting a healthy boundary. That's usually when we get angry. A boundary's been crossed. Something is not aligned to our truth. So we're going to do a practice when we feel angry. How do we channel this energy so it takes us into assertive action? And the expelling the venom, I'm going to just show you first, and then we'll do it together. So we're going to make sound through the exhalation. The sound is shh. Shh, S-H. What we're going to do is we'll be bending over like we're working in the garden and we're pulling out deep tap roots, just those deep ones. I'm not a gardener, so you bring into your mind gardening terms. Bulbs, but I just think of it as a big root. I know what that is. So the big root is anger, it's rage. Maybe you know what you're angry about. Maybe you don't. You don't need to know. Maybe you don't feel angry in this moment. It's okay. I'm just going to show you and we're going to do this practice. So we're going to pull the root out on our inhale. We're going to bring our fists up overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to release that SH sound to the earth. Shh. And again, we'll pull up that deep taproot on the inhale. Exhale. Shh. We're going to do it 3 times, and then we'll slowly come up. Okay, so expelling the venom. Who doesn't feel angry from time to time? Please tell me you're human. Okay, good. So find a comfortable stance for you to bend your knees and fold forward. Maybe you only come down halfway, okay? You make sure you're comfortable enough. You can also do this seated. So we're going to just imagine we're finding that deep taproot. Let's just take a couple of those, just pulling that taproot up out of the earth. On our inhale, we're going to take our 2 fists up overhead, and on the exhale, we'll make the sound SH. Release it to the earth. Again, inhale, pulling up that deep taproot. Exhale, Now, on this third one, we're going to do it very slowly and deliberately. This is the deepest root you have ever pulled out of the ground. And we're going to take that anger we're holding anywhere in the body. We'll bring our hands up. Exhale, and release. Good. Let's take our hands over our big toes, and we'll slowly trace up our spleen meridian up the inside seam of our legs as we slowly rise up to standing, over the hips, up the sides of the body, circling back down to the low side ribs, massaging those spleen points. Good. And shake it out. All right, now that's one tool you can use when you've got to expel the venom in a healthy way. All right, let's come on to a folded blanket. And we'll come into, let's come into a seated cobbler position. Pelvis tilting forward. Blocks under one or both knees if we need them. Just take a couple breaths here. Okay. Let's bring our hands behind so that we're on our fingertips. And as you press your heels together, lift your chest, draw the shoulders back, open your lungs, open your inner thighs and knees, breathing deeply. Breathing into your hips, 3 more breaths. Good, then let's bring our hands to our knees. Draw the knees together, stretch our legs out, give them a little shake out. All right, let's come up off of our seat and make our way onto our backs. And when you arrive onto your back, let's set the feet up hip distance apart. Knees are bent. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your upper back so that you've now just propped up your chest a little more. And all these toxins we've been clearing from our liver, gallbladder, just from the body, we're going to help move that now more and more into the systems that carry that out of the body. And so we'll do that through our moving bridge pose. So as you inhale, let your arms stretch up overhead and rest on or near the floor. Press into your feet, lift your hips up, hug your inner thighs toward each other. That's bridge pose. And then as you exhale, everything comes back to the mat. Arms, spine, and hips. Inhale again, lift the hips, the arms, overhead, bridge pose, hugging those inner thighs toward each other. Exhaling back to the earth. Toning the back body to open the front body in bridge pose. And then just let your body soften back into the earth. One more time through each of the movements. And now come back into bridge pose with the arms overhead again. Press into your feet, backs of your shoulders, back of the head, all pressing into the mat. Hug your inner thighs together. We're holding bridge pose now for 3 to 5 breaths. And when you're ready, slowly lower your hips, spine, and arms back to the ground. Walk your feet a little bit wider and then let your knees rest on or near the mat in constructive resting pose for a few breaths, relaxing your hips and low back. Good. Now let the legs part. Walk your feet hip distance apart again and anchor your arms onto the floor straight out of your shoulders. Lift your hips up an inch or so and then shift them to the right and lower your hips down to the mat. Draw your knees up toward your chest, hugging them together. We're coming into a twist now, so we're going to let the knees fall to the left. You may like a block under your left thigh. If your left thigh does not easily make it to the mat, with your right shoulder blade still on the mat. So you can place a bolster or a block there. Take a couple deep breaths here. Now we're going to press into some gallbladder points on the back of our right knee. So our left fingers will come into the back of our knee, right knee, and we'll just press in. You can massage a little bit or just press in and hold. And you have the option to straighten the right leg or to keep the knee bent. Maybe your head turns to the right, giving your neck and upper chest a stretch. And then feel how your belly in this twist is wringing out your belly organs, cleansing them as you breathe deeply into your belly. Let's take one more belly breath here. And then align your head back to center. Release the back of the knee. Bring your knees one at a time back up over the hips. And then one foot at a time onto the mat. And align your hips back to center. Second side, lift your hips up. Move the hips to the left, lower down. Draw the knees in toward the chest. Let your knees fall to your right. Maybe they land on a bolster or a block if you aren't feeling like the deeper twist is available to you. Bring in the props. The left shoulder blade on the mat's going to help deepen this opening in your back. And then perhaps your right fingers come behind your left knee crease and you'll just press in and hold. Breathe into your belly. Maybe the left leg would like to straighten. Maybe the head would like to turn to the left. One more deep breath here. Exhale, release. Let your knees come back up and then place your feet on the mat and align your hips back to center. And let's stretch our legs out for Savasana. If you need some lower back support, place a bolster or a rolled blanket under your knees. If you'd like any other layers on you, you can grab those, and maybe an eye pillow or a shirt over your eyes. And if anyone needs a hand in the room with any props, just let me know. Just settling your body into the ground. Reconnecting to your breath. Allow yourself to feel completely held and supported by the earth. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sahasrara Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Allow your breaths to deepen. Slowly begin to unfurl and reawaken your body. Stretching and moving in ways that feel good to you. And eventually making your way onto your side into fetal pose. Pausing here in transition. Slowly sprout your way back up into a comfortable seated position. Place your hands together in prayer pose in front of your heart. Just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Just noticing how you're feeling, what you're feeling. We'll close our practice with the sound of one Om, sending our love out into our world today. Remembering that our practices benefit both ourselves and everyone on this planet. Let's take a deep breath in together. It's a pleasure being with all of you this morning. Thanks for being here. Namaste.
Namaste.